All right, Coach. Another game in the books for the Rail Splitters. They extended their winning streak to 15 games last night. Really had to grind one out against Carson Newman, an 89-77 win. You faced a 9-point deficit in the first half, just not much going well for you early on, but you were able to grind through it. And then Carson Newman kind of hung around in the second half and then made some plays down the stretch and pull out the win. So what did you see last night from your team?
Well, I thought first you got to really credit Chuck and his staff. Unbelievable job coming in and really throwing us off, catching us off guard. I thought they came out with a game plan. We hadn't seen anything that they had done last night offensively or defensively, and that's incredibly difficult to do. Our guys, we have stuff we've been doing since September, and our guys still don't know it, and they were able to do something in the 2-day window, Monday and Tuesday, that's really completely anathema to who they are on both ends of the floor, and come out and not only did they install that, but credit to his players for able to go out and execute at the level they did, and it certainly, again, kind of caught us off guard. We were discombobulated for a while, and it took us a while to figure it out and counter it and try to figure out how we wanted to guard, and then obviously how we wanted to attack it, because it was really both ends of the floor. So, we were able to kind of stabilize things. We got some great performances off the bench, first and second half, but certainly Deshaun coming in first half. Cam, I thought Scoot made some timely shots there in the first half, and Dorian as well, got some finishes around the rim, and we were able to get up one at halftime and put it out to 14 second half, but you knew they weren't going anywhere. They were going to stay in fights, and it was going to take all 40 minutes, and we were, got down to final 5 minutes, and it was good for us to have to play a game like that where you got to, basically come down anybody's ball game, final 5 minutes. Can you execute? Can you get stops? Can you get rebounds? Can you perform under the pressure there at game point? And I thought we executed well down the stretch on both ends of the floor, and got stops, got rebounds. We were able to, kick some in on the other end. But it was good, overall really good for us. But credit to them, I thought. Wonderful game plan. Caught us completely off guard, and again, credit not only to Chuck and his staff, but really to the Carson Newman kids for being able to take that in 2 days and again do something that we hadn't seen anything offensively. They really put in, basically installed and ran an entirely different offense, and then defensively they played 40 minutes a man, switched 5, and again it kind of just caught us flat-footed there early. We were able to again figure out a way to attack it, but certainly they never went away all night, and we had to play the full 40 minutes.
Well, and then how important is that? I want you to elaborate a little bit more on that, on having to finish off a game, because from here on out there's no weaklings on your schedule left, because you got Queens coming down the rails on Saturday, and then it's postseason play from then on out. So how important is it for the team to get involved in those close late game situations?
Well, it's good. We try to simulate it in practice. We haven't been there much this year. It's been kind of a unique year in that we haven't had a whole lot of games where it's come down to the final 3-4 minutes and game hangs in the balance, and you got to find a way to make plays. We've either been up by a significant amount, or in the case of Northwest Missouri, we were down by a significant amount. The only games that really had any of that was Queens at Queens, certainly, and we didn't execute anything. We guarded, but offensively we were horrible down the stretch. And then Newberry, but even that wasn't really a deal, because they kind of rallied back, and we were able to really, on the final minute did it get close. So and it happened quickly, but. So it's good for us. You're going to have to play those kind of games. As you said, the level of competition raises as you get, we're playing, in Carson Newman yesterday, and then obviously with Queens on Saturday, you're playing some of the top teams in the region, some of the top teams in the country. And, the line that you have to get to be successful is really high. And the vast majority of those games are going to come down to, final few minutes. And being able to go out and come out of an ATO and execute a play, or come down and execute offense and run a play and get the shot you want, and be able to sit down and guard and get stops and rebounds. And it was good for us to see that we had the ability to execute, and that we showed some resilience and some fight, because I thought obviously they played us incredibly hard. I mean, it was told Chuck after the game, there was 4 I think Bevo Francis Ward finalists on the floor last night, and the best player on the floor by a large margin was Sean Jones, who's not a Bevo Francis Ward finalist, but he was head and shoulders the best player on either team last night. And but again, I thought down the stretch, we made some plays and showed some toughness and some grit and resilience, and But yeah, that's a key for us. I think going into this week, I talked about with the guys. I was intrigued to see how we would respond, because we've been able to, for the most part, for like the last month or so, kind of play in spurts and fits and starts, and we've been able to win, and that's masked probably some lapses and some lulls we've had game in and game out on both ends of the floor. And you're playing Carson Newman, and certainly Saturday, you better play 40 minutes of high-quality basketball.
When there's a lot to process coming out of yesterday's win and heading into Saturday's matchup, you clinched at least a share of your 6th straight Southland Conference title yesterday, 33 straight SAC wins. You're 1 win away now from clinching a whole lot of other things potentially, and also the 2nd perfect Southland Conference season in program and SAC history. So kind of, what is the team doing in preparation for that game against Queens on Saturday?
Well, I think, I went in the locker room last night, and guys were, I think, probably because of just one being physically and mentally exhausted because of how hard we had to push ourselves last night. But there was no celebration. I think it was a combination of again, how much effort we expended last night, and then also probably tempered by the fact that we knew what we got coming to town on Saturday, and it's certainly a big game. From what I'm reading, seems like maybe the fate of the universe hinges on Lincoln Memorial University, on the shoulders of Lincoln Memorial University and Queens University basketball. So that's a big responsibility, of the fate of the universe on your shoulders. So, no, I mean it's a high stake game in the regular season. It's the highest level of competition. You've got two great programs. We've played in so many high-stake games already. Bart and his staff, we have great respect for those guys. I mean, that's an outstanding team and program. I told you this last night. I think they're really similar to where we were in 15-16. In 14-15, we had won 30 games. We had hosted the regional for the first time. We got beat by Mount Olive, who went on the Elite Eight, and we came back with pretty much the same team the next year, and that's a really kind of a sweet spot to be in. You have great confidence because you won 30 games, you're dang good, and you're hungry because you feel like you left something on the table, and they've got everything you need to win a national championship. They got great experience, they've got unbelievable talent, they play exceptionally well together, they're sound on both ends of the floor. They seem to just be cohesive. They have really no weaknesses that are discernible on either end of the floor. So that's why they're 26-1 and a half inch away from being 27-0. That's how much Agassi's shot missed by was probably a half inch. So we'll have to play our best basketball. Fight, scratch, and claw for 40 minutes. And put our best foot forward and see what happens. But the stakes of the game, it is what it is. I think for all of us, this is why you work, why we spend all this time, and to have an opportunity to play in games like this. For us, I think you were saying this is the 15th 1 versus 2 matchup since 1960, and so you're looking at a span of 58 years, and we've played in 3 of them. Here in the last, since 15-16, the national championship game, and then this is our second one this season in a 1 versus 2. So that's 1, bad scheduling, and 2, a great opportunity. But usually the greater the opportunity, the greater the challenge, and they're as good. If they're not the best team in the country, it doesn't take long to call roll to get to them. I haven't seen anybody better, so we'll have to be at our apex and our peak on Saturday.
Well, there is obviously going to be a lot of outside noise heading into this game. It is, like you said, the 15th all-time matchup between number 1 and number 2 in the history of Division II hoops. We expect a massive crowd here with free admission. ESPN3 is streaming the game, and obviously, like we already said, we know the potential stakes involved in this game. So we know you're a process-oriented program, but how do you keep that outside noise outside?
Well, I think you got to acknowledge it and embrace it for what it is, which is great for Saturday is going to be great, and all the speculation and all the hype is great for fans and everybody around the program, and it's an unbelievable showcase for not only LMU basketball but Lincoln Memorial as a whole. Having ESPN in here, and I think we had 4,000 in here last night against Carson Newman, and we're expecting a crowd up in that 4,000 range here on Saturday, and it's a great opportunity, great exposure for both, like I said, the program and the institution as a whole. That being said, it has nothing to do with the outcome of the game. I think it's important in games like this, and we've been fortunate. We've played in some big games, and Queens has too. Neither team is going to be wowed by the moment. I don't think either team's going to come in here and flinch. They've played on huge stages. We played on huge stages. We both got teams that are pretty experienced. We've got obviously incredibly competitive guys on both sides of the ball that are obviously talented as well. So that's why we are where we are. But in games like this, it comes down to execution and poise. Everybody's going to play hard. Everybody's going to be at their best. But all the hype that surrounds and all the hoopla, you can't get caught up in that, because when the ball's tipped up, it means nothing. It's going to come down to which team executes best, which team plays with poise. You got to be able to, against a team like Queens, they're great. So you got to understand, you got to be able to stay extremely disciplined. They're going to, you're going to play great defense, and they're going to jump up and make a shot. And you got to tip your cap and have the poise to go back and run offense and play the next possession the right way. You got to limit anything easy for them because they're going to make enough hard plays that they're going to punish you. Any turnover, any bad shot, any breakdown in transition, any late help, anything that you do that's out of balance, they're gonna punish mistakes. So we've got to really, again, try to get back to as high quality of stuff as possible, both ends of the floor. And like I said, most games you go into it and effort is a part of it, but this game, everybody's going to be totally locked in. Everybody's going to be playing as hard as they can, so you can throw that out. And now it just comes down to which team executes better, which team's able to maintain their poise in the moment. And certainly, like I said, I don't think either team will struggle with poise, because we've both been on this stage many times.
Well, and then when I talked to you after the Hiwassee game, you said that it had been a while since the team had put together a complete performance, and you were really wanting to see that. Since that Hiwassee game, have you seen the team get closer to that complete performance, and just how do you feel like the team is coming together as we head into the stretch here?
Well, I think, last night was good. Coker was good for us too. Coker was really physical, tough game. Coker played us, tough as nails. The last two games have been as close as we've been. I think we were up 5 at half at Coker and 1 at half last night, and both games were decided deep into the second half. I think as the year goes on, the blowouts are going to subside. I still think we can get better. I still think we can play more consistently. I think we can play with more physicality. We're playing hard. We've got to play a little smarter, a little more disciplined, and a lot more physical. And I'm not talking about fouling physical. I'm talking about being appropriately physical. I think there's areas that we can clean up. But we've shown, I thought, against Coker and even again, against Carson last night, we've got a lot of fight. We've got a lot of heart. When you get into with teams, you always, at the beginning of the season, you wonder, you know what your talent level is, and then you wonder, what's the commitment level, what's the competitive character, and what's kind of the culture going to be of a group. And I think those things have to supplement the talent. If those things aren't in place, it's never going to be what it could be. And I think the guys have really been committed. I do, competitive character to me, there's obviously the hating to lose versus loving to win. I think that's a distinction and an important one, but I also think, competitive character is your mental toughness. I think our guys have shown a lot of resolve, a lot of resiliency, a lot of mental toughness. But we certainly can get better, and we got to come back to work today and tomorrow. And the line against Queens will be the highest line of the season. There won't be a game that we've played, Butler, Northwest Missouri, any other game this year, where the line to be above the line to get the win it'll be the highest it's been all year. So it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be fun to see if we can get above that line. If we don't play our best game of the season, we'll end up sad on Saturday. But I think everybody in the program is looking forward to the challenge and the opportunity that awaits us, and we'll certainly put our best foot forward and let the chips fall they may on Saturday.